Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. In today's video, I am super excited because I get to share with you the very best sunscreens for dry skin. All of the products I'm going to mention today are going to give you that guaranteed locked-in sun protection. But beyond just that, they're going to add hydration back to the skin. If you ever dread applying your sunscreen because it leaves you feeling stripped and dried, then this is the video for you. I've got a little something for everyone, no matter your skin type, tone, and of course your budget. So if you want to find out a little bit more on the best SPFs for dry skin, keep on watching. Now, before I jump into it, there are a couple of things I want to cover. First of all, I'm talking here about sunscreens which also have the added benefit of the additional hydration, the ones that won't strip and dry the skin. This is very different to moisturisers that have an element of SPF built in. The reason I haven't included any moisturisers with SPF in this list is because they're regulated totally differently across the world. That means there's different standards and different ways that they're tested and monitored. This also leads to different SPF values, and it can all be a little bit confusing. I've stuck in this video to tried and tested SPFs that also have an element of hydration in there and beautiful ingredients that are going to bring back that hydration and moisture to the skin. This isn't my skin type. I have super oily, blemish prone skin, and so dry skin isn't something I've traditionally suffered with. And so I've relied on a lot of your guys' recommendations and also some of my experiences with these products. So I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that contributed to this video, shared their dry skin sunscreen recommendations, and really formed the basis of this video. It took a whole host of research and looking into, so if you do want to do me a favour and click that like button, I'd really appreciate it. But that's the waffle over. Let's cut that and jump straight on into the video. I'm going to start with a brand that I've loved for so long, and that is these. These are the Sun Gels by Skinnies. They do two that I've tried, which is the Conquer and SPF 50. They also do the standard Sun Gel, which is an SPF of 30. I love Skinnies, fully cruelty free. They've got a great environmental ethos. They give the consumer so many choices across their products, and they're really upfront about what each product delivers. So I think their website is really easy to navigate and work out the best one for you. These two products are packed full of shea butter. Now, shea butter is one of the most hydrating and nourishing ingredients that you can get in skincare. It's kind of like a ride or die ingredient for people that have very dry skin, because it can really add back to the skin rather than stripping and drying it, which some sunscreens can do. These don't contain water. They also don't contain denatured or drying alcohols, making them a perfect fit for people that do have dry skin. A little does go a long way, and whilst I would always recommend you over apply these, they say a pea size amount works. I personally will put a little bit more on that to just make sure you're getting that guaranteed coverage across the skin, but it spreads beautifully. And if I told you it had like a butter consistency, that is how hydrating and nourishing it really is. I love these, and when I'm going on a beach holiday, these are the ones I tend to reach for to give me that guaranteed locked-in high protection. The sun can actually dry our skin out, and so even someone like me that has super oily skin does find if I spend a lot of time in the sun, my skin can get a little bit drier, and so I love to use these because you get the protection with almost the added benefits of that additional nourishment and hydration. Such great products, and honestly, ding, holy grail to start off the video. Now, my second recommendation is going to be from this brand, Altruist. Now, I've mentioned these on the channel before because I love so many of the Altruist sunscreens. They have different ones that work better for drier skin and oilier skin types, so it's really important to choose the right one for you. I actually did a whole review of the Altruist sunscreen line, which I'll leave a link to up there. Definitely worth checking out if you kind of want to know a little bit more about the full brand, the ethos behind it, and which might be the best product for you. The one I tend to reach for is the Face Fluid, which is an SPF of 50 and gives you really great protection. This works great for my oily, acne-prone skin, but I know so many of you guys out there with dry skin say it also really works well to lock in that hydration and won't strip and dry. The one that I think is probably directed at those with dry skin is this, which is the SPF 30 sunscreen. This I love because A, you get a huge bottle, and it's so affordable. I think this is like £5 here in the UK, so in Europe like €7. So affordable, and you get so much product, so you can really be lavish with it. You don't need to scrimp on your protection. You can apply the right amount and know you're doing it without breaking the bank. This is very hydrating, and neither of them have drying alcohols. They have hydrating fatty alcohols in here, which are a great addition if you have dry skin, and they're a beautiful hybrid sunscreen, which means you get some mineral sunscreen protection, but you also get some chemical protection. I think hybrid sunscreens are kind of where it's at because it minimizes the total number of chemicals in the product needed to get that SPF, but also you're not using too many mineral components which can strip and dry the skin. I love both of these, but honestly, I think this, for the price point and the amount you get, is probably the best for dry skin types. I've left a link to all of the products I mentioned below if you do want to check them out. Now I'm coming on to Elta MD and their Sport SPF 50. This is a product which you guys have been recommending in your droves, and I hadn't tried it for a while because I wanted to check out whether the brand was cruelty-free. I contacted the brand and also did some research online, and they're an entirely cruelty-free brand, which I love. Some of their products are sensational, but I think their Sport SPF 50 is probably the one that stands out when it comes to dry skin. This has a beautiful blend of mineral and chemical sunscreen filters, which again gives that hybrid quality, which minimizes the chemicals but also maximizes the protection without drying by using too many of the mineral UV filters. A really nice blend, and I think a great option for people with dry skin. What I think makes this one stand out from some of the other ones in their collection when it comes to adding back, locking in the hydration and protecting the skin, is it contains beeswax. This is great at just sealing everything in, preventing transepidermal water loss, and also will act to soften the skin and just give a really nice overall feel to the product. You guys have been recommending this so often, and I'm so glad I got to try the product. Whilst it maybe is a little bit thick for my skin type, which is oily and acne prone, it didn't break me out. So that's great if you have dry acne prone skin, because you can offset the dryness without breaking you out. So I loved that about the product, but I still think it's a little bit thick and a bit rich for my oily skin type, but definitely a holy grail if you have dry skin. Beyond just the beeswax, you've also got a beautiful blend of other ingredients such as vitamin E, fantastic antioxidant which works beautifully alongside the SPF to just lock in that protection. You've also got some really nice other additions that are going to help to nourish and protect the skin. A really nice product, and one that I'm definitely grateful for you guys calling out. Now we're going to move on to Japan. So the Japanese sunscreen market isn't one that a lot of people with dry skin will reach for. That's because a lot of their products contain alcohols which can be a little stripping and a little drying on the skin. This isn't always the case, and I always think if a product you love has a drying alcohol in it, you can always offset that with some additional hydrators throughout your routine. However, people with very dry skin will often just stay away from drying alcohols just to make sure that they're not further exacerbating that dryness. However, if you want to reach for an Asian sunscreen which is alcohol free and applies beautifully on the skin, I would reach for the Can Make UV Mermaid Gel. Such a great product, great protection, but also just leaves this veil of hydration on the skin. It doesn't give a very dewy finish, which sometimes hydrating products can. I'd still say it's on the matter side of dewy. However, it still locks in all of that moisture and won't strip and dry the skin. The only drawback with this product is I don't think it goes a whole long way. So I do find myself, because of the small bottle it comes in, repurchasing time and time again. I don't mind doing that because I love the product, but if you're conscious of the price point and you want a lot of product for the price that you're paying, this might not be the product for you. But oh, that finish, that beautiful finish on the skin is why I think people gravitate to this time and time again, and why it's one of the most popular Asian sunscreens on the market. They actually do two. They do one that's badged as white and one that's badged as clear. The white one is designed to give a brightening to the skin, but I find it leaves a bit of a white cast even on my reasonably fair skin tone. So I just encourage everyone to go for the invisible, because the invisible is applicable to all skin tones, even the richest, darkest, deepest skin tones this will work for, but it also works for the very fairest of us out there. So I think that's just a universal product that I'd recommend people gravitate towards. If you have very fair skin, you probably could use the one that's badged as white. However, I still find it gives an odd cast to the skin, so just make sure you're purchasing the right one. And the one that I've linked below is the universal invisible one. Now, can we talk Black Girl Sunscreen? So this has been a viral sensation since it launched a couple of years ago, and everyone has fallen hard for it. I didn't particularly reach for it when it first launched because it wasn't necessarily marketing at my demographic. I appreciated their demographic was very much aiming at the deeper, darker, richer skin tones out there. But then the more I read about it and the more I saw people reviewing it, I realised actually that's just in the naming. This is actually a universal sunscreen that I think would work for absolutely everybody. Such a great formulation. This is a chemical sunscreen. So a lot of the ones I've mentioned before have been hybrid. This is a purely chemical sunscreen that has a number of filters included in it. And that SPF of 30, it gives you a really nice level of protection without leaving any trace of white cast or odd hue to the skin that sometimes people with deeper, darker, richer skin tones can get even with a chemical sunscreen. This is a beautiful formulation which includes avocado oil. It's got jojoba oil in. It's got sunflower oil. such a great blend of ingredients that are going to add back to the skin. So rather than just not drying out the skin, it's going to actually add back that hydration, so really support people that are suffering with persistently dry skin. Love, love, love this product. The only caveat I'll say is it's a bit on the expensive side compared to some of the other recommendations, but I think it's totally worth it. For that beautiful blend of oils, this really stands out in terms of being the one I think that has the most beneficial ingredients beyond just those protective filters. And honestly, it's a total holy grail. No matter what your skin tone, this is a product that will work for you. Now, finally, I want to call out the Bondi Sands SPF 50. This claims to hydrate the skin for 72 hours. Now, I'm always dubious about that because actually, who actually leaves everything on their skin for 72 hours without washing it off or reapplying something else? So I'm always a little bit skeptical when brands say that foundation lasts 72 hours or it hydrates for 72 hours, because you're never actually going to leave it on the skin for that long, or you shouldn't at least. However, reading through beyond just that marketing gimmick, reading the ingredients, this is a really well put together product. It delivers a high SPF, but it does have so many additional nourishing ingredients in there, which I think can be great for people with sensitive or dry skin types. This is another one that was recommended by a lot of you guys, and I actually reached out to Bondi Sands to ask a few more questions about the brand and really try a few more of their products. So I hope to be able to do a full brand review on them in the coming months. But of all of the ones I've tried so far, I'd say that this one stands out as being the one that's going to be most beneficial to people with dry skin, whilst also delivering a high level of protection. I'd love to know your thoughts and feelings on Bondi Sands and any of the other products within their range that you've tried, because that can really feed into the other review that I'm planning in the next couple of months. So there you have it, guys, a rundown of the sunscreens which I think are going to be the best for those with dry skin types. Now, this isn't an exhaustive list. There are so many other great products out there, and so please leave your recommendations in the comments section below. If you've got any ride or die products for your dry skin, I'd love to hear about them. You'll notice I haven't mentioned any solely mineral filter products here. That's because often the mineral filters used can be a little bit drying on the skin and can be a little bit difficult to incorporate into a dry skincare routine. However, those products do exist, and I'm going to do a separate video where we talk about the mineral sunscreens that would work well for people with dry skin type, because I think that needs a whole separate video where we can talk about some of the products in more detail. I hope you found this video useful. It's given you a little bit of food for thought on some products. I've tried to be universal in my recommendations because a lot of these will apply to people of the fairest skin types through to the deepest, darkest and richest. There's something for every budget here, from the drugstore through to the slightly more bougie with that Elta MD range, and hopefully it's available internationally. But I've left links below if you do want to check them out. Wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye.